This is the Functional Rehab Podcast with your host, Dr. Ashley Mack.
Let's talk about topical analgesics. What is that? Pain relieving cream, but there's a lot of different variations that are out there. What and why do you need to use them, or why would you ever use them? And how to select the best cream or application for you. And so today I have a good friend, Jordan Battaglia, also in Italian Battaglia, who is one of the founders of Play on Relief, a topical analgesic cream which helps out with muscle recovery. He's kind enough to be able to share a little bit more in regards to what topical analgesics are, and we'll take a big breakdown. And so, Jordan, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being on today's show.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for having me. You were great to me when we were coaching together. You taught me a lot about physical therapy and sciatica, a lot of things I didn't know. So a wealth of knowledge from your podcast host here, Ashley Mack. He's the best. So I'm glad to be here.
Jordan and I go way back. We met probably in 2022. So, 2022 feels like forever ago, but we met at Ross Valley CrossFit. And we actually had the opportunity to coach together, and we learned a lot, and it was really cool. Jordan's a stellar athlete and founded this company, I think, with your dad, right? So tell us a little bit more about you, and then how Play On came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So I athlete all my life. I love to train. I love to work out, and I had a goal of playing college sports. For me, it was a big goal. It was an ambitious goal. It worked out. I played D3 college football at Pomona College and outside of LA. I played wide receiver, and it was an amazing, amazing experience. Learned a lot about coaching, training, exercise, recovery while I was there. A big passion of mine. And kind of how Play On came to be was that I wanted to start this company again. My parents originally had a company. They invented this technology that we'll talk about more. But I knew I wanted to start it again, and I got a back injury. So maybe a lot of listeners here, know my pain, that back injuries totally derail your life. And it was right when I was going into my senior year of football, my last chance to play. So there was nothing going to stop me. I was going to play no matter what. And I was trying BioFreeze. I was trying Icy Hot, Tiger Balm. I was doing some massage and physical therapy. And just during practices and games, I wasn't getting the relief I needed to just play on. And so I was like, okay, I think we need to use this amazing technology we have and create a better pain relief product so that people can have some real relief and real results, so that they can be more active, heal their pain, get through physical therapy, and actually heal their bodies. So that was the goal. And we ended up creating an amazing product that people are loving so far. So very proud.
Much respect to that. I myself was a college athlete. I had the opportunity to swim Division I at Villanova University. I was their distance freestyle specialist back when I swam. And I actually myself overcame some pretty bad back pain. Probably the opposite of you in football. It's so much impact that you guys go through. With swimming, you don't really have much impact. In fact, I was pretty strong and fit, but back then my core wasn't the strongest because I didn't really need to have a much stronger core because I was supported by water. Looking back at it now as a physical therapist, I realized that I really should actually, one of the reasons why I did get hurt was because my core wasn't very strong. And I'm pretty confident if I got my core as strong as it is now, I would have been a much faster swimmer. And so it's interesting because when it comes to college athletics, you're pretty much in essence a professional athlete. You go to class, you train, you compete, right? Everything is focusing on performing. And you bring up a really interesting point about it was your senior year and you wanted to perform, you wanted to compete, right? So sitting on the sidelines wasn't an option. And so at those times, you needed a topical analgesic to allow you to get through these practices and get through PT. And you're getting, as a student athlete, you're getting evaluated by the team medical doctor. So just being told that you weren't going to further hurt yourself, that was another thing that would allow you to get involved. So
yeah.
So the whole college sports industry is an entirely different subject on its own, but really great to be able to say, I've experienced this problem, I lived through it, we have this solution, and here it is. So before we talk more about the play on, because I want to be able to spend a little bit more time about like what you have built, but let's talk a little bit more about just topical analgesics in general.
Yeah.
So listeners out there, there's a lot of different tools that are out there when it comes to pain relief. When you hear this, when you see the word analgesic, that means pain relief. It means make the pain go away. And then we have topical, which is actually going to be the delivery model. There's some other analgesics you can take. You can take the opioids, like you take it orally, you can inject it as well. But today we're going to be focusing on topical analgesics. So Jordan, because this is your space, tell us a little bit more about topical analgesics. Can you share us like how and why they work in the first place?
Sure, absolutely. So a few different categories. There's prescription, which you just referred to as opioid or some injections. And then there's also over the counter, like NSAIDs, so ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol. And then there's topical analgesics. So the topical space is, you can go to CVS, you can go to Walgreens, Walmart, and you will see a loaded shelf with a bunch of products that are pretty much doing the exact same thing with all of them. They pretty much all have the same ingredients. It's honestly like shampoo in a lot of ways. You know, they might have different scent, they might have slightly different ingredients, but they're all going to clean your hair. So topical analgesics work by using the pain relief ingredients of, for example, menthol or camphor or lidocaine or methyl salicylate. Those ingredients go onto your skin, they attach to your nerve receptors, and they send signals to your brain saying that you are okay. So much of what topical analgesics do is actually helps your brain better understand that the pain can be relieved. So it's very, very much about our minds. Then a dual effect is that you do actually get a cooling or warming or numbing sensation on the spot on your body that is feeling injured or hurt or just in pain, sore, achy, etc. So those are the two big reasons why topical analgesics work.
Right on, yeah. Especially like topical, because it absorbs through the skin. It's pretty localized, and as compared to if you were taking an oral anti-inflammatory or an oral steroid or oral opioid, when you ingest a chemical compound through like orally, it goes through your entire body. And so oftentimes the effect can be dulled down, or the effect could actually be displaced. And so when you have a topical application, it's much more localized. And that means that there are various different specific compounds. I actually really appreciate you saying how it sends a signal to your brain and creates a safe space. So that way the pain goes down. Because when the pain goes down, it gives you the opportunity to do some more activity, which we know that especially when you are dealing with an injury, activity is going to, safe, pain-free activity is actually going to allow you to facilitate healing, build up resiliency, improve blood flow, which is what we need when it comes to dealing with injured tissues. Now, I think you said before there are a couple of different chemical compounds that are involved. So number one, we talk about lidocaine. Lidocaine is actually a numbing agent.
Correct.
I'm dating myself, but one of the movies that came out in the early 90s was this movie called Man of the House, and it was with Sinbad. And they had a topical lidocaine that they in the dentist's office, and it was so funny because he ends up washing his hands and thinks that the topical lidocaine is actually soap. So his hands are completely numb. He can't hold on to anything, and it was just such a funny thing. But lidocaine itself is a numbing agent, which in essence, like what you'll feel if you've ever gotten a dental procedure done, is that you really can't feel it, or might feel like pins and needles. It's like a very dampened effect. But you also said something about salicylates. So tell us a little bit more about that. What compounds are available well, there's salicylic acid, which actually addresses like acne and stuff, but that's not the same as what you're talking about.
Sure. I'll be honest, methyl salicylate, it's not in our formulation. I'm not the most knowledgeable about it, but I do know that it is an over-the-counter counter irritant. It's in that classification, same thing as menthol and camphor. So you can get it in low percentage forms as an active ingredient in over-the-counter drugs. And it has similar effects as to menthol. It may be stronger in some cases, depending on the application. It just depends the form that you're getting it in and for the reason that you need it. So it's similar to lidocaine, I believe, where it's a stronger application for people who are in severe pain and for people who want to feel more of their body and don't need a severe pain relief solution. Then lidocaine and methyl salicylate may not be the best options for you. But if you're trying to get through physical therapy, you're trying to get some cooling and heating sensations, menthol and camphor might be your best bet so that you aren't being totally numbed away.
For sure. You definitely want to be able to have some sort of sensation because it allows you to be able to say, am I doing something right or am I doing something wrong?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when people say put on topical analgesics and their pain goes away, they think that they have permission to go back to doing things the old way. And I often say that I forgot who I was speaking with, but I was speaking with another physical therapist, and there was this debate on whether or not physical therapists, we should call ourselves movement experts. And he was saying along the lines of we should just be able to do whatever activities the proper way. And so I often say it's our jobs as physical therapists to ensure that you are operating your body in a responsible way. So if you are dealing with an injury, more often than not, the injury that you have sustained, aside from an actual trauma, is often due to just poor mechanics, some of the poor behaviors that we needed to change. And so using a topical analgesic actually allows you to take the edge off, allows you to move, allows you to not be so guarded, so you can actually move in the way that you should be. But if you put the topical analgesic on and your pain goes down and you continue to do the same things that you've been doing, then it's only going to be just a Band-Aid, right? And so I think one of the interesting things is, when we talked about it, was this concept of prescription versus over-the-counter, right? And play on relief, there's a lot of ones that you can actually get over the counter. Can you share with us a little bit, just based on your experience, what you've noticed between the prescription strength stuff versus the stuff that you can buy at the local pharmacy?
Sure. So prescription grade pain relief products are generally going to be oral solutions, opioids or Percocet, or something that is prescribed to you after surgery most of the time, or maybe after an ER visit if you're in severe pain. Solutions that you don't want to use very often unless you are in dire need, right? As I'm sure you would agree there, Ashley. The stronger versions of over-the-counter drugs are called topical NSAIDs or diclofenac. So there's a few different diclofenac solutions. This is like topical Advil or ibuprofen, essentially. So if you're okay with ingesting NSAIDs or putting NSAIDs on your body, then those are some solutions that you can try out as well. However, like NSAIDs aren't for everybody, and not everyone wants to ingest or put NSAIDs into their bloodstream. So there are other options for you in like the menthol, camphor, methyl salicylate, lidocaine area.
Great. Yeah. So we have the analgesics, which is like what Jordan and what we're talking a little bit more about play on, but it actually addresses just like the overall nerve signaling and the nerve behavior and what we call nociception. And then we have NSAIDs, which actually address like the actual inflammation aspect of healing, which a large part of the pain that we experience can be due to inflammation. So being able to understand that they're separate mechanisms is going to be very important in regards to understanding what you would benefit most from. So let's talk a little bit more about just the recommended use for this stuff, right? So I know that you're the expert in more of the not the lidocaine, not the NSAIDs, right? The other more of actually addressing the nociception aspect of it, right? We know that it actually addresses how the nerves fire or how your brain perceives it. We create a safe space. So let's talk about some of the applicable uses for this, and then also what are the recommended dosages or how often people should be using them.
Sure. So on pain relief labels, you'll find that you can use them from anywhere from 3 to 4 times per day. Once an application once you stop feeling it, you can use it again. And one big problem about current formulations is that in current products is that they don't last a long time. So for a lot of people, 3 to 4 applications per day is actually not enough for them to get the relief they need. And that was a problem that we wanted to address with PlayOn. And we'll talk more about that. And recommended usage and when to use it. So if you are about to perform a physical therapy appointment, for example, or more of an active gym session where you're still just getting back into it and you're feeling achy and sore, we need that movement. We need to get that blood flow. We need to improve the range of motion with control. And if you're with a physical therapist, advised by your physical therapist or their assistants. And a lot of times, they can tell you that you can move more than you are willing to do based on pain levels. So you need to improve range of motion when you're trying to heal and improve certain muscle groups post-surgery, for example. So topical analgesics can help with that. If you are just dealing with a sore quad and you want to go on a run, for example, topical analgesics are great to help with soreness, because soreness is a lot. What we know about soreness is that it's very perception-based. Soreness is very much based on our mind. So topical analgesics can help a lot with soreness. And then you can use them after working out as well. And depending on the formulation, there will be some recovery aspects. And that's something we really like to address with PlayOn, is that post-workout recovery so that you can get anti-inflammatory relief as well. So it's just great stuff that we try to achieve with PlayOn post-workout.
Yeah, it's particularly useful. I know that especially if you are dealing with pain, we'll say, for example, back pain or even shoulder pain, there is going to be a component of muscle guarding because of the fact that your muscles are trying to protect whatever is painful. And so when you are dealing with that stimulus, it's not just what you're experiencing in your head, but your body is going to be reacting in response to that. And so this could be a great opportunity to, in a way, downregulate the nervous system and allow the muscles to just relax a little bit and allow the rest of the body to do its job. And I see a whole bunch of really great applications and really just trying to calm down some really tight and sore muscles.
Yeah.
I've worked with so many people who've had shoulder injuries, and it turns out that their upper traps were the most tense muscles ever. And as much as I tried to tell this person to go ahead and relax or do all these breathing exercises, in some cases, you actually need an external cue that will actually allow you to let those muscles chill, so then the rest of the body can actually function. So that's number one. I am very intrigued. I'm so interested. You were talking about the anti-inflammatory component from a post-exercise muscle recovery. Tell us a little bit more about that. And I'm asking because I really haven't heard of it that much. So I'm just so intrigued to understand a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So, I've been alluding to this whole time our amazing special technology that it's never seen before. And to be honest, that's all true. It is a unique, novel, proprietary technology that has been studied for 10 plus years, clinical trials, FDA approval with different products. And it is an amazing natural technology. We have formulated a resin to be this platform technology. So it's completely safe, it's completely natural, no synthetics. And what this technology does is when you spray PlayOn on your skin, and by the way, it's a spray, it's not a cream, and you don't need to rub it in either. Just spray on and PlayOn. It's amazing stuff. You just spray it on, and there's an imperceptible film that's created on your skin. So you don't know it's there. It might feel a little tacky, but really you don't know it's there. And in this film, there is a reservoir of medication that you don't know that's there, but that it's slowly dispersing over time. So you're going to get this pain relief and anti-inflammatory relief over time for an hour to 2 hours plus, much longer than current formulations. On top of that, the second part is that our technology makes it a much safer application of drugs in the body. So on a cellular level, there's actually some protection of the cell when Play-On is applied, versus you apply BioFreeze, for example, the cells actually will become inflamed because there's nothing protecting the cells. But our resin actually does that on a cellular level. So you're not just getting anti-inflammation from the arnica in our product, but you're actually getting anti-inflammation from our proprietary technology as well. So you get that twofold benefit of longer lasting relief, more powerful relief, and safer relief.
And the great thing about that, especially when it comes to the slower dispersal, you would have to apply it a lot less. And what's interesting is the fact that if you were to be, I mean, this is with any sort of lotion, you just keep putting lotion on a specific area, it's going to get clouded. You're going to get a little bit of irritation just from the repetitive use. And what's really cool about this, and I've had the opportunity to try the bottles in my house, and every time that I get sore, I actually put it on my neck, especially because I've been training jiu-jitsu and they pull on my neck a lot. It's really, really helpful when it comes to just calming down a lot of the irritation, and it allows me to move my neck more. And so when you put the spray on and put Play-On in any sort of one of these sore muscles, it reduces the level of guarding. It prolongs the amount of time it takes for you to apply another level, which allows you to also move. And then just movement itself is extremely anti-inflammatory. So you're having this compounding effect, which allows you to get moving. So let's talk about a couple of different applications in regards to areas, right? Because we want to be able to see, all right, well, what are some of the use cases? And so number one, when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and someone keeps pulling on my head, my neck gets really sore and stiff. So I'm going to go ahead and I have long hair, so I'll put my hair up and spray it on the back of my neck. And then I usually like to do it at night because that's when my neck bothers me the most. Usually when I go to the gym and train, my neck ends up getting loose once I start moving around. It's usually when I feel it the most at night. Another area that I often see this used is people who have shoulder pain. So as I was saying before, people who have shoulder pain, being that they're CrossFitters or people who work out, a lot of times their upper traps are working so hard. And talking about overactive upper traps can be an entirely different episode, but I know that spraying on that area is going to be extremely helpful. It kind of calms those muscles down. What I often actually like to do, Jordan, is I'll apply the Play-On and add a little bit of massage too, to kind of really get a double whammy of cooling, calming it down, but then also even just providing that tactile cue. So there's a lot of really cool use cases there. Now, this is a very safe product, right? But we do have to talk about the other end of the spectrum in regards to what, like who and or what is Play-On not for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say, well, I mean, first of all, don't put it on open wounds, please, or in your mouth or eyes. If you do rub it in, wash your hands, simple things there. You don't want to put menthol to your eyes. But I think it's for someone who's dealing with severe back pain, for example, and they are just trying to mask their pain versus trying to figure out a solution. So at our company, we are trying to help people be more active. And you were just alluding to this. We want people to be more active because being active is healing. That's how we get healed. That's how we heal pain. We can use this for soreness too. And our athletes in our ecosystem definitely use it for soreness or for just aches and whatever. But really, there's so many people with chronic pain. There's so many people that deal with injuries that they're just not attending to. And there's a huge swath of people that just aren't active in their daily lives. So our goal is to get people to be active and heal. But people who shouldn't use it, or people that are just masking their pain and they don't want to attend to their problem. Or it's people that just have a legitimate injury and they are then just using Play On to continue doing whatever they're doing through the injury. I think those are the two big areas that I see are dangerous and would not recommend.
Yeah, and those are very important things to consider. I think a lot of people look at pain relief as, I'm just going to go slap this thing on and I'm just going to go. But it is important, especially when it comes to overcoming chronic pain, to know that there are activities that you can do that will allow you to get better. And what this will do is allow you to be in a point where you can, in fact, move with a little less pain, a little less restriction. And so being able to know that this is really more so a vehicle of allowing you to recover versus just like a panacea where you're just spraying and then you're completely cured. And I really appreciate that, because I am very cautious of products that get marketed, because a lot of them say, you do this and your pain is going to be free. And oftentimes they think about it as a magic pill. People have been selling apple cider vinegar pills being like, this is going to relieve your pain. And the reality is, a lot of the issues that we experience, I hate to say this, but it's true, but a lot of the injuries outside of trauma is often due to the fact that we just put our bodies through so much punishment. And it is important for us to, one, recover, but also number two, put ourselves in positions where we can actually take care of our bodies and move with purpose. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a huge fan of Play On, is because not only are you putting it on your skin and it actually does make you feel better, the focus is actually on moving better. So then that way you can continue to heal and improve and recover day after day. So Jordan, I'm really pumped and thankful for that. And so for the listeners out there who are like, man, this Play On stuff sounds pretty cool, I want to try it out, what's the best way for them to get their hands on this stuff? Yeah,
our website is playonrelief.com. Playonrelief.com. That's play on and then relief, how you spell it, .com. You can find us on Instagram. DM us. We'll help you out with whatever you need. We're an open book and we want to help people. And my mom's not here, but we're a mom-son team. We're the co-founders. So it's really cool. We're a mom-son team. And we just want to help you guys. And we want to, help you heal your pain through movement and through anti-inflammatory work with Play On. We just want to see you get better. And that's our honest, true motivation. So yeah, thanks for asking, Ashley.
Absolutely. Yeah, huge fan. And the reality is that when you're working with a physical therapist, a chiropractor, there's so many tools that are out there. And it's our jobs as physical therapists and healers to understand what tools are available, but then also understanding when to use those tools. And one of the great things about Play On is that you can access this pretty much anywhere. And so for the listeners who did not get an opportunity to actually write that website down, I'm actually going to be putting the link into the show notes, so you can definitely check it out. Jordan, thank you so much for your time, man, and your expertise and what you're doing over at Play On. I'm excited for just all the people that you're going to help.
Yeah, I mean, me too. And I appreciate you having me on. You're doing great work, and your listeners are lucky to have you, for real. You're a wealth of knowledge.
No patient-therapist relationship is formed by listening to this podcast. We are not providing medical advice, and all information should be confirmed by a medical provider.